The G20 Summit has arrived in Johannesburg, South Africa, bringing together world leaders from across the globe. This year's meeting is particularly significant, marked not only by the usual high-level discussions on global economic issues, but also by the notable absence of US President Donald Trump. His decision to skip the summit raises eyebrows and invites speculation about the future direction of global diplomacy, especially concerning the US's role in multilateral platforms like the G20. Among the many dignitaries attending the summit, Finnish President Alexander Stubb stands out. Known for his pragmatic approach to European and global affairs, Stubb's leadership in Finland has always emphasised open diplomacy, collaboration and mutual respect. His presence in Johannesburg is a reminder of Europe's continued commitment to fostering dialogue on issues that affect both developed and developing nations. As he arrived at the summit, Stubb was greeted warmly by South African Vice President Paul Mashatile, highlighting the close cooperation between Finland and South Africa. Alongside him, Indonesian Vice President Gibran Rakabuming Raka also made his arrival. Rakabuming's participation in this summit marks a pivotal moment for Indonesia, which continues to assert its influence in the Southeast Asian region and beyond. As the world's fourth largest population, Indonesia has a key role in shaping the discourse on global trade, economic stability and environmental sustainability. His visit underscores Indonesia's growing influence in multilateral dialogues, positioning the country as an essential voice in the ongoing global conversation about the future of the economy and geopolitical stability. Another significant figure at the summit is Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Australia's role in the global economy has never been more important as the country continues to push for stronger climate action, greater economic sustainability and improved international cooperation. Albanese's leadership in Australia has helped the country navigate complex relationships within the Indo-Pacific region, especially concerning trade and security. His arrival at the summit underscores Australia's commitment to global diplomacy and its active involvement in shaping the future of multilateral engagements. Greeted by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Albanese's warm reception highlights the growing ties between South Africa and Australia, particularly in areas like climate policy and sustainable development. Perhaps the most anticipated arrival at the summit was that of Chinese Premier Li Qiang. Representing a country that has become a central force in global economics, Premier Li's presence brings with it the weight of China's growing economic power and strategic ambitions. In recent years, China has increasingly asserted itself on the global stage, with a focus on expanding its influence in international markets and securing key positions in critical infrastructure projects worldwide. As global tensions rise, particularly with the US, the discussions involving China's role in the global economy will be closely watched. Premier Li's arrival in Johannesburg is a reminder of the importance of China's participation in the G20 discussions, especially when it comes to trade, technology and global stability. The summit's host, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, has long been a champion of multilateralism and diplomatic cooperation. Under his leadership, South Africa has strengthened its position as a bridge between the developed and developing worlds. Ramaphosa's influence at the G20 is significant as he continues to push for greater inclusion of African nations in key global policy discussions. The summit provides a platform for South Africa to highlight issues critical to the African continent, including sustainable development, climate change and economic inequality. Ramaphosa's leadership is seen as a beacon of hope for a more equitable and inclusive global order, one where the voices of the Global South are heard louder in the halls of international diplomacy. In stark contrast to the other leaders, the absence of US President Donald Trump looms large over the event. Trump, who was a major player in past G20 discussions, has opted not to attend this year's summit. His absence is felt not just because of his role in past economic and political negotiations, but because of the broader implications it has on US foreign policy. The US has historically played a central role in the G20, advocating for free market policies, climate action and international trade agreements. However, with the shift towards more protectionist policies under Trump's leadership in recent years, many questions remain about the future of US participation in multilateral forums. The void left by the US at this year's summit has led to an interesting shift in the balance of global power. While the absence of a prominent leader may create uncertainty in the short term, it also opens up the opportunity for other global leaders to assert themselves more prominently. Countries like China, Russia and India, along with European leaders such as President Stubb and Prime Minister Albanese, have taken centre stage in shaping the discourse. This dynamic change has forced many to reconsider what true global leadership looks like in an era of shifting alliances and new power structures. As the summit progresses, leaders will engage in critical discussions on issues ranging from global trade and economic recovery to climate change, international security and human rights. The decisions made here will have far-reaching implications for the future of the global economy and the international order. South Africa, as the host nation, has a unique role to play in guiding these discussions and ensuring that the voices of developing nations are not drowned out by the economic powerhouses of the world. While the summit's primary focus remains on economic and trade-related matters, there are also important conversations about the future of global governance and the need for stronger cooperation on global challenges. Issues such as climate change, access to vaccines, and the growing threat of cyber attacks will undoubtedly take centre stage. The world is facing unprecedented challenges, and multilateral cooperation is more important than ever. Leaders here in Johannesburg must come together, put aside differences, and work towards solutions that benefit not only their countries, but the entire planet. As the summit continues, all eyes will remain on the actions and decisions of the leaders gathered here. The stakes are high, and the outcomes of these discussions will shape the global political and economic landscape for years to come. Whether the G20 can rise to the occasion and provide solutions to the world's most pressing issues remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain: the path forward requires cooperation, collaboration, and a commitment to finding common ground in the face of unprecedented challenges. In the coming days, the focus will shift to the specific policy recommendations and agreements that emerge from these discussions. These commitments will have a lasting impact on the world, influencing everything from climate policy to international trade regulations and security alliances. The summit provides an essential opportunity for world leaders to demonstrate their resolve to tackle the global challenges that affect us all. As the leaders of the world's largest economies gather here in Johannesburg, the world is watching. The decisions made here will not only affect the countries represented at the summit, but will have a profound impact on the future of global cooperation, diplomacy and governance. The outcome of this summit is a testament to the power of multilateralism and the need for collective action in addressing the world's most critical challenges, with leaders such as Finnish President Alexander Stubb, Indonesian Vice President Gibran Rakebuming Raka, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Chinese Premier Li Qiang and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa all present. The stage is set for meaningful discussions that could change the course of history. Their leadership, alongside the absence of US President Donald Trump, signals a new era of global cooperation, one that could pave the way for a more inclusive, sustainable and peaceful world. As the summit unfolds, we can only wait and see how these leaders will navigate the complex issues that face them. But one thing is clear: the world's future depends on their ability to come together, listen to one another, and make the difficult decisions necessary to ensure a better tomorrow for all.